Hi, this is Jessie again, and I'm here to share with you all of my warnings that I've received about the coming war in America. And this one has been one that I've been putting together for a while because there's a lot to record. I was waiting on interpretation um, for the one I'm going to share at the end. And I just recently received that. All right, so I'm going to read to you Ezekiel 33. And, but if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. This is a very serious verse for me because I know God is giving me warnings to share. And if I don't share them, then people's blood is on my hands for not giving them the warning that God is giving me. Um, and I 100% know now that it is God speaking, and I dare not speak. So, especially now that there's a time frame that he gave me, and we don't have much time. So the first one I'm going to share with you guys is it was given to me October 29th of 2021, and this was an all-night dream. The entire night I dreamt of, it was like a black and white 1930s, 1940s. It was almost like I was watching a movie of like World War II, of just fighting. And it was the entire night. And that was the entire night, which was just odd. It's not like I was watching war movies or anything. Like, this was out of the blue. So the next one I'm going to share was June 14th. So the night of June 14th, 15th of 2022. And this one, I was at my parents' place on the front lawn. There was a picnic table that was there when I was a child. And it was me and a couple of my sisters and my dad sitting there. And my dad was sitting there just kind of, he just looked sad and just kind of like just hunched over and just sad. And I was holding my childhood Bible, and I was holding it like, I want to lose the page here. I was holding it like this, and I was like pounding it like this. And I was telling him, like, Dad, we get it. Like, stand firm until the end. You've taught us, like, stand firm until the end. And as I was telling him that, and it was like somebody dimmed the lights in the dream, because it was like sunny out before, and then it got really dark. And I looked over my parents' lawn, and it was just like the clouds formed this huge, like, it almost looked like it was a tornado forming, but a really large one. And it was like this funnel cloud, and it started like lowering till it was almost like treetop level. And in the middle of this cloud it was like a movie screen, and it started showing scenes like almost like 2020, like riots and stuff, like war, riots, and just like chaos. And this was in 2022, so this was after 2020. And so it was like war, riots, and then the very last scene shown in this cloud stood out to me the most. it was the White House, and it was like the circle part was facing me, and it looked like something hit it from the back, like I don't know if it was like a missile or a almost like a wrecking ball, but I didn't see the ball. But it was just like it hit it from the back and just blew out the front at me. And it was like the middle third of it just blew apart. Like it was just like a bomb hit it, but not like a fiery bomb, just rubble. And that was so intense, that like exploding at me, like that woke me up. So that was that one. The next one was October 13th. Actually, I'm going to share this one first. Should try to keep them in order. This one was September 7th of 2023. These were just two little snapshots, I guess. One, I was walking through a city, and it was a hilly city, and I was walking up a hill, and there was one of those skywalks in front of me, like up the street a little bit, and there's huge buildings, but you could see between them. And this huge like passenger jet plane came and like crashed and broke into pieces to my left, like on the next street over. And I just remember seeing it in 2 or 3 pieces as it crashed. And I was looking at it like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. But then another one came down on the street to my right. And I was like, oh, like there's 2. So it wasn't just like one airplane malfunctioning. There was 2 airplanes crashing. And then that second one came down on the street to my right. And the same thing. It just like, these dreams are so real. It was so intense. Like a giant jet plane crashing like a street over. And then the same night, so September 7th, 2023, I was dreaming. I was standing on my dad's back porch, and I was looking off in the sky to the right, and there was like an army helicopter, and there was soldiers ziplining down, and I just knew that it was like invasion. And I grabbed my kids and my sister's kids, and I ran them into the basement, and I was trying my hardest to hide each of them as best I could before the soldiers came. And that was the end of that dream. And let's see, this one was October 13th of 2023, early morning, and I was upstairs in a farmhouse, and there were kids kind of playing behind me, and I was sitting on the corner of a bed by a window. There was a small 1950s TV on a little stand next to the window. All of a sudden, in the dream, I could tell I was starting to get a vision. So it was like a vision in a dream. This is the only time this has happened to me. Because it was like, it kind of had like blurry edges. Like while I was looking out the window, it's like I knew I was getting a vision in my dream. And the vision was black and white, and the era was like 1950s. And it was almost, if you've seen the Hulk movie, I don't know what year that one was, one of the more recent ones, where he was a little boy and he was playing by the window, and he was looking out the window, and there was that mushroom cloud outside the window. And so in my dream, there was a little boy with the striped shirt on an army base playing by the window. So this was the vision that I was seeing in the dream. And then outside that window, there was a mushroom cloud. And probably like 2 or 3 seconds after I saw the mushroom cloud, like the wave of energy, it came through the vision into where I was actually sitting in the farmhouse. And it hit so powerfully that it woke me up. That was insane. That was crazy. The last one that I'm going to share. Yes, okay, I think we're there. All right, so the last one I'm going to share was August 28th of 2023. This was not a dream. This was another one where he took me up in the spirit. This has probably happened 6 or 7 times now. This one was he just threw a lot at me. I was trying so hard to keep track of what he was showing me, because I knew that I knew every detail was important and I didn't want to screw it up. So as he was like showing me, and this was the one that I have been praying into since August 28th, because some of it makes perfect sense, but the beginning part did not, and I wanted to have full interpretation before I shared it. So, all right, this was another vision. I don't want to call it a vision, but anyways, I don't know what to call them yet. I felt myself wake up as this feeling filled my whole body, again to lift me out of my bed, up through the ceilings and rooms. I was flown around, fast speed, through all different kinds of buildings, rooms, big city business buildings, college dorm rooms, etc. Really, really fast. They were all empty. And these rooms and buildings, it was just like, it was like some were like the ceilings were missing, so the walls was missing, so I could look inside of them, and there was no people anywhere. They were all empty, and it wasn't just like they were gone. It's like I felt like they weren't there. Like the people were missing, and they were all empty. There's no people. As I was taken up to this wall, so I was like taken up some steps and flown up to, like, I'm not walking, I'm actually getting like taken places in these things. So I was flown up to this wall, and on this wall there was a little like eyepiece. I don't know if you can see it. Like that. There's a little eyepiece. It almost looked like one of those doorbells that with the cameras also, but it wasn't a doorbell. It was just the camera. And I was flown up to it where my left eye was like an inch away from it, where I knew that it like scanned my eye. And as it scanned my eye, so I felt it scanning my eye for ID. It felt like if someone took a detailed rubber stamp and rolled it from one end down onto your skin, as it scanned the top down on my eyeball. I knew it knew thoroughly and deeply exactly who I was. And I don't understand this part yet. Inside, like when I was looking inside the camera, there was like a electronic little blue flower, like a rose or something. And I don't completely understand that part yet. I should pray about that more. And so after it scanned my eye, I was flown around the corner into an empty dorm room. And it looked lived in. It was really messy. The bed was messy and stuff. And I was flown in and I was I was sitting on the bed. And like on the end of the bed. And as I sat down on the bed in this empty, messy dorm room, the wall to my left, the one in front of me, and the one on the right that I had just come through where the doorway was, the 3 walls disappeared, and I was shown, it was like a summer field, and this dream was in August, so the season matched what it was in real life. and it was a summer like field, and there was trees and stuff. It was more like a little meadow or something. And then the seasons started flipping through really fast, like every second. It was just like, and I was trying so hard to keep track of the seasons. And I knew they were really important to keep track of, like how many. So I just, as they were flipping through, I was like, okay, they're going too fast. I just need to keep track of the winters. And I'm 99.9% sure it was the second winter. So it would be the winter of 2024, 2025. So that winter. So like in 12 months from now, because it's January of 2024 right now. As it switched to the second winter, it went from winter, and instead of turning into spring, it turned into like this super deep, hard, fast freeze. And it was just like everything turned really fast, just like I could hear the ice. And it was like it was so loud and intense. It was just a really hard, fast freeze. And after that, I was picked up off the bed again, and I was flown through some more empty buildings. And then I was taken down in front of this big wall. And this wall was probably 10 feet by 20, 30 feet long. And I was actually set on my feet in front of this wall. And as I was standing there, this wall unfolded like one of those like 3D greeting cards, like all the paper pieces just like came out at me. And in the back, like there was a background and a foreground. So the background was a fleet of ships. And I'll show a picture right here of what those ships looked like. So they were very oriental, and they had a certain type of sail to them. So in the foreground, like as it kept unfolding, was a war horse. And it was such a heavy understanding that like invasion war. It was a war horse, and it was all decked out in armor. It had a rider, and its nose, because it kind of came at an angle towards me, and its nose is probably a foot away from my face. Kind of glad it was paper, because otherwise it would have been quite frightening. And there was a lot of red accents on the armor and the rider. So it all felt very like, I guess, oriental. I'll try not to name any certain countries. But I just had that feeling that it was just red, and yeah. So after that, I was picked up and flown around some more empty buildings, and there was 2 wolves kind of far away, but they were standing on top of one of the buildings, and they looked like 2 gray wolves, and they were just staring at me like they had that like they were stalking something look. And again, I knew that has been shown to me that it is a call to be the watchman for the flock against danger. So that was just another sign to me to share this, because he has taught me that. So the parts that I understand, like the parts about the empty rooms and the messy, empty dorm room, like that was the part I didn't understand. I've been praying since August. So for 4 months, I've been praying into that and asking God for interpretation. Like, what did that mean? Because I don't want to give a dream without interpretation. I've just been praying for him to show me what that meant. And probably about a week ago, I was sitting for about half an hour praying again, like for him to give me understanding about that part. And he did, which is awesome. So the empty rooms, the empty college dorm rooms, it's not about that. It's about the timing. When are college dorm rooms messy and lived in but empty? At Christmas break. So Christmas break, New Year's, like that time frame is, and all the empty businesses and stuff, they were all closed for Christmas and New Year's break. So the warning for the freeze and the war, the coming war, I fully believe is for the Christmas of 2024, that time frame, of a deep freeze. And I feel like that was another thing I prayed into for a while. I asked God, like, what is the deep freeze? Is it literal? Is it economic? Is it financial? Like, what does that mean? And he woke me up this is probably the third time he's done this. He woke me up with a deep understanding of it. And the deep freeze is literal. And I felt, it's like, he doesn't give me the words, he just gives me an understanding, so I have to try to put it into words. I felt like it was economic. I don't know if it was grid related, but the electricity won't work. And I don't know if it is because of snowstorms and then it's followed by war, or if it's linked together. But people will not be able to heat their houses. Therefore, they will feel the winter, literally. They will be freezing. So please take this and pray about it. Pray for confirmation. And I pray that you get confirmation and that you get leading in what to do and how to prepare. And personally, me, I'm going to try to make sure my family has wood heat and just food storage, because you're not, if it is a time of war coming, you're not going to be able to go to the grocery store. So yeah, please just take these words and ask God to confirm them for you. And I want to leave you with this verse. So this is Isaiah 26, 3 and 4. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength.